Welcome one and all to the monthly Sworn Club raffle and Beer with Brian, a monthly program of the Coffin Comics Sworn Club. Behind me, you will see these 3 question marks, and inside this magnificent box are all the current members of the Sworn Club. We're going to pick 3 names today, and you're going to get some goodies. So the first thing you might say is, well, what goodie would I get? Let's see, we're going to play in a moment or two for the first goodie. And let's see, what I'm seeing here is a La Muerta, a Hell Witch, and a Nice Lady Death by Monty Moore, along with a bunch of swag, including luggage tags, wooden nickels, a Lady Death Rules ruler, which I think everybody needs, and bumper stickers and all that stuff. It's been a while since we've done bumper stickers. That gives me an idea to do more bumper stickers. So without further ado, also welcome to the stream. Feel free, any questions you like. But I'm going to pick the first person. And if you're watching this live and you happen to see it, good for you. If you watch it on playback, good for you too. But this is coming your way soon. I'll say the person's first name. I know this person. Let me fix this. Carmen C, Carmen C, Carmen C. These goodies are coming your way. Now, I don't know if you noticed behind me, but a bunch of goodies here related to our current Coffin launch, which is Empress Death. And she has 3 days left in her Coffin launch. And I cordially invite you to back this campaign. As we speak, I've green-lit the Chapter 2, and I am writing it as we speak, picking up all the story threads from Chapter 1 and rolling them into Chapter 2. So expect some surprises. Really fun story to write because it's an alternative universe where Lady Death is broken bad. So many of the cast members that you know from our universe, we could really play with their lives and their deaths. And we take no prisoners in this storyline. Kind of fun if this reality dovetails with our Coffinverse reality and see what happens then. I don't know. But we have about 3 days left on that campaign. You can see all the goodies here featuring EOM, Sun K, other phenomenal talent. Yeah, so consider that. All right, I'm going to pick again, everybody. All right, Timothy D. Timothy D, you just won, and you might be asking yourself, what did I win? And that's a fair question. So you won the goodies in this dealio, and that includes Lady Gunfighter by Jamie Tyndall, Hell Witch by Ryan Kincaid, and Lady Death by Sora Sung. Now also, you may have heard that we have a Kickstarter going for Evil Ernie, the Omnibus Collection. And we do. It's on Kickstarter right now. We are collecting 1,500 pages of Evil Ernie goodness in 3 separate volumes, featuring classic artwork on the covers and collecting all the stories in publishing order. A set like the main editions, the 3 of them, 1,500 pages, that set, which would come inside a slipcase, would cost $237. Am I right? Yes, $237. Also, we have some merchandise, including an Evil Ernie challenge coin for you to consider, featuring Eric Maché and Hughes art, and just a ton of other goodies. So consider those as well. All right, I'm going to pick one more. I guess, while we're talking, I'd also let you know that on Coffin Comic Shop, we are running our Goth Days promotion, featuring artwork by Richard Ortiz, Dawn McTague, Mike DiBalfo, and others, and David Harrigan. And there's some goodies. We do love our Goth Days, so there you have it. This is great. Daryl J, if you're watching, this third one is for you. And it contains the following: Beautiful La Muerta by Eric Henson, Hell Witch by David Harrigan, and Lady Death by Richard Ortiz. Super cool. Up on deck is the Lady Gunfighter Coffin launch campaign. That's coming on May 28th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And I invite you to that one too. That's Lady Gunfighter Damnification. Right now, I'm going to throw it to video, and when we come back, we're going to have Beer with Brian. See you in a second. Hi, I'm Brian Pulido, publisher of Coffin Comics, and I'm excited to present to you an all-new 48-page original graphic novel entitled Lady Gunfighter Damnification. Death comes quickly and easily in the Old West, especially if you're facing off against bounty hunter Eliza Ryan and her demonic six-shooters. Taking the moniker Lady Gunfighter, Eliza vowed never to let the guns fall into wicked hands. But when the pistols begin to corrupt her very soul, Eliza makes a choice that may forever change her fate. A quest for answers drives the bounty hunter deep into a nightmarish wilderness where death lurks behind every tree. However, for Lady Gunfighter, there is no turning back. While her loved ones fight to survive against a brutal madman, Eliza must face an ancient power more malevolent than any demonic pistol, a seductive witch capable of unspeakable horrors. Bonus story: as midnight falls, a skull-faced ghost haunts the border towns of the Old West. Seeking vengeance, she has taken up a gun and adopted a name, La Muerta. Please support our campaign now and share it with everyone you know. I can't thank you enough, everybody, so thank you. Hey, let's start off Beer with Brian with a little Jack Daniel's Fireball. Here's looking at you. Fantastic. This is Beer with Brian. Usually doesn't feature beer because it's still 5 o'clock. And the workday is over at around 6 o'clock at Coffin Comics. However, welcome everybody. Good evening to you. If you have any questions, that's what this one is all about. But I usually start off with some pop culture ruminations. That includes stuff that I've been watching. So one thing I watched last Friday was Send Help, the new Sam Raimi film about a mathematical genius executive who gets caught on an island with her jerk boss. A fun, simple premise. Rachel McAdams plays the executive. Some young man plays the boss. What's his name? Dylan O'Brien. He is definitely a dick in this movie, which is the idea. And it's really fun. It's very, very Sam Raimi. And what I mean by that is there's just like 5 or 6 moments in that movie where you just go, ick, or you just get grossed out, which is kind of what you want out of it. So I recommend that one. That one was good. Now, let's see here. Mosh Pit Matt says, oh boy, it must be that kind of Wednesday. I think it's that kind of Wednesday. No, it's all good. Last night on Netflix, I began watching Man on Fire. Now, I remember 20 plus years ago watching the Tony Scott film Man on Fire, starring Denzel Washington. Completely enjoyed it. Bit of a slow burn, but it was well done. And so I was watching this the pilot episode, completely enjoying it, but kind of wondering. And then the last couple of minutes of the first episode changed the game. It was fantastic. And then in retrospect, the time that they took to develop the characters and set them all, it's like fantastic. So I think that's 8 episodes. And that first episode was excellent. I look forward to watching more tonight. As far as other genre stuff, I just finished reading a book called Partially Devoured. And it's written by a man, I think his name is Daniel Kraus. He's a storyteller. I think he was known for writing the story to The Shape of Water with Guillermo del Toro. But this particular story is about his love and adoration for the movie Night of the Living Dead. Like myself. It's my favorite movie. It's his favorite movie. So what he did in this book, I believe, is remarkable. He went moment by moment throughout the entire film, provided observations, never before known facts, really got very, very granular, would do little excursions into every actor in the movie, their life, their biography, hopes and dreams, and then his own. It gets my highest possible recommendation, A+. It was absolutely a blast. Partially devoured. Think it's Daniel Krauss. So those are some of the things that are going on in pop culture. For me also, I'm finishing up reading Southern Bastards by Jason Aaron, the comic series, and Blood of the Demon, plotted and drawn by John Byrne and dialogued by Jules Pfeiffer, I think it is. And that's just a fun romp. Candidly, I didn't even know it existed. So it's late John Byrne after he had left Marvel, more or less, and was knocking around DC doing stuff. I love the character of the Demon. I love John Byrne. So just a fun, simple read, nothing particularly heavy. It's, and if you ever like it, give it a shot. Now, while we are sitting here, I'm happy to answer any questions about, I don't know, state of comics. Yeah, one thing that kind of comes to my mind that I'll just note is that just a couple of days ago, Kickstarter changed its policy on not safe for work content. And that really is sending a lot of project creators scrambling. So I just want to have a lot of empathy for those creators. And my advice to those creators is to do what we did, which is form your own crowdfunding platform. We saw the writing on the wall a while ago, and we actually love and adore Kickstarter. But for our general publishing schedule and our general content, we thought it'd be best if we develop our own platform and offer our items there. So that's what we did. So I actually encourage fellow creators to do the same thing. Develop your mailing list, provide a weekly newsletter without fail, never fail, and develop your own crowdfunding platform. It's what we've done. Last year we crowdfunded 8 projects. This year we've done 2 already, and we're working on our 3rd, and it's working out. We're really grateful to our team that built it and maintains it, and to Francisca Pulido, who had the vision to say, this is what we got to do. So let's see here. We're going to take a look and see if there's any questions. Got it? Leave questions. You sometimes spell Vivian's name differently. Well, thanks for pointing that out. We'll work on that.
You've mentioned that you have been you were the character development under Evil Ernie.
Yes.
Who are some of the people who have inspired the character developments for other Coffin Comics characters?
So the question is, I was the visual developer for Evil Ernie. That's true. I worked with a gentleman named Eric Mache for about 2 years before I actually sought out a comic book artist to draw Evil Ernie. And then that part alone took an additional 1.5 years to actually finally connect with Stephen Hughes. And when Stephen began work, he and I began working together, he had a lot of model sheets to work with. Usually, in this day and age, part of our process is if we have a new character that we know is important, we'll hire and work with a given artist. Let me give you an example. Joel Gomez, hire and work with him on model sheets and turnaround drawings on, let's say, Lady Gunfighter. What does she look like front, side, back? What does she look like facially? What are some of her major props? Also frequently, to this day, I'll do some of the initial drawings. I did a lot of the initial drawings of Evil Ernie, took pictures of myself as Evil Ernie, and I know that as you and I speak, we're about to embark on a storyline for Lady Death for August of 2027, and I will definitely do the initial drawings of Lady Death's costume for that storyline, because it'll be pretty different than what we've done before. And So that's usually it. It's usually the people that we're working with. We'll task them. Another example will be Diego Bernard. We knew we were going to do a character named Lady Virtue. So she was described, we provided reference, and then we had him bring her to life, and we would go through a couple of drafts. Same thing happened, Mike Morg. Early on, we introduced Mike Morg in the pages of Lady Death. I did initial description, drawing, reference, and then hired Diego to bring him to life. And it's a lot of fun. Bringing characters to life is really among the most fun parts. What's your favorite restaurant in Phoenix and or Arizona? I'm really partial to Hula's Modern Tiki in Scottsdale. I like the vibe. I like the drinks. They have the best Mai Tai on earth. And I think I'm qualified to say that. Myself and Francisca Pulido have tried 50 to 70 Mai Tais, like all over the United States and Hawaii. I just think they have a great one, and they have a great menu. So for me, probably Hula's Modern Tiki is my fave. Some others, let me think some of the other classics. No, I mean, Hula's really does the trick.
What makes their Mai Tai?
So what makes Hula's Modern Tiki in Scottsdale, Arizona, what makes their Mai Tai the best is it has very few ingredients, and it's not overly fruity, and it uses 2 types of rum. So most Mai Tais are very boozy. They usually have 3 shots. So in the case of Hula's, they have specialty rums they use that are tested, time-tested rums. 2 shots of dark, I think, and 1 shot of clear. And then just all the ingredients are absolutely magnificent, and it's well balanced. I think generally Mai Tais are made, I guess, for tourists in Hawaii, and they're super fruity. They're not, yeah, you can't have a lot. Think about it. You can't have like 6 fruity drinks. You'll have like a sugar poisoning or something. But these Hula Modern Tikis are very balanced.
Are there any new characters in development in Coffin Comics?
So in terms of new characters in development, here we sit May of 2026. Mike McLean and I have written stories up to, let's say June of 2026, and we are actively going back and forth on August of 2027. But I guess what I could tell you is the character Chaotica does come back in, I think it's September, October of 2027. We're going to find out the exploits of Chaotica and her brother Hellslinger in the current storyline. Because keep in mind, we haven't really visited Coffin Comics Earth post-Helligeddon all that much. Lady Death has been off Earth, and Hell Witch's story has been taking place in Hell. So we haven't seen a lot. We've been looking at Lady Gunfighter the last couple of years, so she's in the past. This story will be set in the present, and again, it focuses on Chaotica and Hellslinger against a group that we introduced in Lady Death Sacrificial Annihilation in a single panel. That's a clue. However, this story is going to be a flip book, because the Chaotica lead story will be 24 pages. On the flip book, we're actually going to be telling the origin of Hana Angel Vex. Whether you know it or not, they are related, and this story will explain why. So although characters are not necessarily new, we'll be exploring them in ways that we haven't before. I think everybody will find a lot of fun. Have you seen Dan's Lady Death vs. Zombie Tramp 2? Any teasers? Mr. Goat, I have been seeing page after page and cover after cover because I have to approve that stuff. In fact, I am not at liberty to discuss it because it's not my project, it's Dan's project. I was just about to tell you, I just saw a magnificent cover by beep, 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 but it's not my place. But it's coming along fantastically. I all the creative talent on it are incredible. That's all I really can say. Yes. What other bands would you like to work with, like the Megadeth books? Well, Ragman, I think the era of me doing licensed comics has passed. It's been really fun and rewarding doing my own material. But when I think about your question, I think it would be really fun to see Lady Death meet Kiss. Kiss is the most comic book band of all bands. They have a long, successful run. I would love to see Lady Death and Kiss meet up. That would be really, really cool. I would also, I mean, again, I don't know that I'm going to like go out of my way for this, but I mean, it'd be amazing to adapt some of the songs of Slayer as comics. I would love like things like some of their earlier stuff to be adapted. It would be amazing. Think, what do you concentrate on the most when writing your books? Well, I mean, the first thing we do is we outline the plot. But comic books are not driven by plot alone. Really, comic books are driven by moments. That's the things we remember. I mean, an example of a moment that we've all shared was when Captain America got a hold of Thor's hammer in Avengers Endgame. That was like a riveting moment for everybody. So moments are very important in comics. I mean, it's really all important, but how I work with Mike McLean is I might come up with a kernel of an idea, and then we bat it back and forth in the form of an outline, which eventually graduates into a plot that eventually graduates into a script. And I mean, what's most important is everything. It's all very, very important. I think Mike and I have different specialties. So I think Mike's specialty is the plot. Phenomenal at like making up the plot. Some of the things that I might have a specialty at are character moments, where from a comic book perspective, we're going to take a couple of pages and slow a moment down and show a moment. I mean, it might be examples like years ago, we had the first time La Muerta and Lady Death ever met. And Lady Death fired a gun at Lady Death and it just hit her cheek and bounced off. I mean, that kind of tells you some stuff about the power dynamics. Also, comic books are visual storytelling. We were working on a project for next spring of 2027, and my suggestion was, let's slow this moment down and use the power of comics, just panel by panel by panel, to evoke this moment and really emphasize this one moment, as opposed to getting too plot driven and just moving things along too fast, let's say. I mean, comics, again, they're visual, so sometimes you want bigger pages, sometimes even double page splashes. You want fights that are well choreographed, and you want them in environments that are really compelling or fascinating. Let's say, you know, you could have a fight in a city, but a fight in the city on 4th of July as fireworks are about to go off are just more visually evocative. So I think everything counts in a comic book. Let's see here. Even though she's a ghost, did Autumn die? No, I believe Autumn remains alive and her story is still to be told. More to come. She's still, I think that what powers Autumn, if you read the story, it's sucking the souls of the evil people. So no, I don't think she's dead. I mean, she's undead, right? She's in a different state of life, like so many of our characters or existence. You know, we have living, we have dead, we have undead, we have dead but alive. So much fun. Looking forward to more Chaotica. Also, will we be seeing more Ratso in the Coffinverse? That would be sweet. Ratso is in Empress Death, Epitaph for Humanity, and he is a cast member in the entire Empress Death storyline. So I am writing him right now in chapter 2. What are the top 3 albums you would recommend? Oh my God. That's pretty brutal. Look, in terms of genre, let's take like heavy metal, for example, for the purposes of this conversation. The first 2 Metal Church records are among the most underappreciated masterpieces of all time. I think the first two Iron Maiden records are vastly underappreciated. Soon as Bruce came in for the third record, everybody's like, oh, Bruce, and he's great. But those first two records are very, very underappreciated masterpieces. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not doing top to top. It's impossible. I mean, another great record, I think, is Judas Priest Unleashed in the East. It was released in 1977, I think, and it was a single live album, but it really set the tone for that particular band with songs like Victim of Changes, done in that great expansive way. So, yeah, I can't recommend just one. I mean, also, like, you know, let's talk about another genre that I like a lot. I like trip-hop music. So how about, let's just say, you know, the first Portishead record, unbelievable, or Massive Attack, their first record. I mean, they're masterpieces. So don't get me started. You have to talk about genre. Yeah. Did you ever offer the 11x17 previews you used to show the artwork off for a launch? Well, it's funny that you say that. We do keep it in the event that we have to refer to it. And on occasion, I've seen Joel Gomez do remarks on them, and we've made them as prizes. But as of right now, we just kind of hold on to them and vault them. But I mean, that is a fair question. We do hold on to them, and we hold on to all that promotional material, and we kind of vault it in the event that we need it. But who knows what we're going to do with it. Let's see here. Something bad happened to her in Evolution. That's true. Yeah. No, I totally understand. I mean, I wrote the story. Yeah, no, I look, I'm giving it away. I think she made it out of that for sure. Yeah. Oh, and then Outcast is saying that's a relief. Yeah. Well, you know how comics are. So I have time for one more question or observation. But let's see here. In the meantime, you know, I am a salesperson. I have no shame in my game, so I highly encourage you to back Empress Death in the last 3 days of the campaign. It closes 6 o'clock this Friday, Pacific time. Also, consider backing the Evil Ernie Omnibus Collection on Kickstarter. It's going live right now. We have a lot of goodies. And right now on Coffin Comics Shop, we are promoting our Goth Days promotion. And then on coffinauction.com, we're doing weekly auctions. 10 items from the very, very deep vault of Brian Pulido. People have been delighted in what they're receiving, and most of the material could be up to 18, 19 years old that we're offering. Well, on that note, all I want to tell you is thank you so much for checking in for this month's Sworn Club show featuring Beer with Brian. You've been great. I've been Brian Pulido. Holler at you later. Hello, I am Brian Pulido, publisher of Coffin Comics, and I am delighted to present to you an all-new 48-page diabolical graphic novel entitled Empress Death, Epitaph for Humanity. To redeem her wicked past, Lady Death now defends the innocent and powerless, whether on Earth or in the depths of hell. But what if she could no longer control her insatiable craving for violence? What if Lady Death surrendered to her appetite for destruction? In another reality, the woman once known as Hope renounces her name and becomes Empress Death, a psychotic sorceress with a lust for genocide. Gathering a terrifying horde, she ravages the United States, annihilating everything in her path. Can the last of America's army stand against her? Can even her own flesh and blood children urge her to see reason? Or will Empress Death drown the entire world in blood? Please support our diabolical campaign now and share it with everyone you know. Thank you.